Hi there everyone, I'm Ashley Bullington and you're watching The Campfire. So we've brought you a lot of content over the last few weeks. We've gone over private schools, small schools, 5A Division 1 and 2. And now we're at 6A as we go into District 3 6A this week. So District 3 6A looks pretty similar to the past, except there isn't as much travel as there used to be. These teams must be pretty excited about that. But after realignment, these are the teams that you'll be seeing in District 3 6A.
Trinity, Boswell, Pascal, Chisholm Trail, Haltom, LD Bell, North Crowley, and Weatherford.
See? The travel is going to be a little bit different as these teams no longer have to go out west to play some of their games. But it's still going to be a tough one. You can vote for who you think will take the district crown on our Twitter account. It's at IHSS-DFW. We also have a quick trivia question we want you to answer.
What is the name of the astronaut and Pascal alumni who walked on the moon? A. Alan Bean, B. Buzz Aldrin, C. Charles Duke, or D. David Scott?
Okay, everyone, I'm not giving you the answer to that trivia question until Saturday. So you need to go and leave a comment anywhere that you can find The Campfire on our social media platforms. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And leave the correct answer in the comment section. Also, if you're a podcast person, we have content for you, including The Campfire. You can listen to our entire Inside High School Sports catalog on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Now it's time for the film session, presented by your local North Texas Geico agents.
District 3 6A is one of the most wide open districts in 6A. Trinity will be the assumed leader of this bunch because of their sheer size. Their humongous offense and defensive lines just overpower opponents on a regular basis. But you have to remember, this isn't the same Trinity of even 3 or 4 years ago. They've taken losses in district play and aren't as intimidating of the Trojans of the past. Look for teams like Weatherford and Haltom to make runs at them. Weatherford returns dynamic running back Des Forrest, and with Cisco Caston in the defensive secondary, the Kangaroos should make a run at the title. Haltom certainly isn't frightened of Trinity as the Buffaloes have beaten Trinity 2 years in a row. Jace Washington returns as Haltom's deep threat, and that should keep them in the district race. If those three are perceived to be playoff bound, that leaves a spot open for the rest of the field. LD Bell can finally get back in the postseason if they can use their experience to pick up a few district wins. Newcomers to 6A, Boswell and Chisholm Trail were hoping to just get their feet wet in 3 6A, but may find themselves primed for a playoff spot. Finally, North Crowley moves out of the Arlington district with hopes of joining the playoff parade as well.
And great teams are made of great players. The North Texas Honda dealers want to recognize the players on the rise. Those players destined to lead their team to victory.
Going into his senior season, running back Des Forrest is going to be the biggest piece of the Weatherford offense. As a junior, Forrest had 1,502 rushing yards and averaged 137 yards per game. Forrest had 37 total touchdowns in the 2019 season and helped the Roots overcome some big opponents. Trinity running back Ollie Gordon is going into his junior season with the Trojans. He's utilized in a multitude of ways, whether it's on the ground, through the air, and even the occasional pass play using Gordon's arm. In 2019, Gordon rushed for 679 yards and 11 touchdowns, had 2 receiving touchdowns and 170 more yards. He even threw a touchdown pass on the reverse. Another Weatherford Roo on the rise is safety Cisco Caston. The 3-star recruit is one of the best defensive players in this district. Quarterbacks try not to throw the ball his way. In 2019, Caston had 80 tackles and 1 interception. He's committed to Baylor University. Haltom wide receiver Jace Washington is ranked one of the best receivers in the metroplex. The Buffalo had 52 receptions for 869 yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. He nearly doubled his receiving yards from 2018 and was voted onto first team All-District in 3-6A. Chisholm Trail wide receiver Isaiah Ortega is ready to go in the 2020 season for his final high school year. The Ranger is a two-sport athlete playing football and baseball. He was voted second team All-District in the 2019 season.
And those players are great and accomplished on the gridiron. But do you know somebody from the high school sports scene who deserves to be highlighted for the work they do in your community? A player, coach, or team going that extra mile. Nominate them for the North Texas Honda Dealers Helpful Heroes. To nominate, go to ihshelpfulheroes.com and follow our social media accounts all summer long to see if your nomination is featured. Now it's time for our Media Day segment. Hey there, everyone. I have the head coach of LD Bell with me, Mike Glaze. Coach Glaze, how's it going?
Doing great, Ashley. Thanks for having me today.
Still in 3-6A. The district didn't change a ton as you still have a lot of parity and a lot of really good teams in it. But your Blue Raiders find themselves in a very interesting district. A lot of evenly matched teams. Do you feel this year that you guys get back in the postseason?
I think we had a great opportunity. There's no doubt about that. And we talk to our players almost daily about it, understanding that we've got teams that we feel like we match up with as far as at least socioeconomic type of kids that are in the school area. You know, a lot of those things are very similar to the type of athletes and student athletes we have at LD Bell. So I think that puts us on somewhat of a level playing field. But it's still 6A football, and there's still great teams, and you still got to go out and you got to perform well every Thursday or Friday night, whatever night you play on.
And you switched your offense last year to the flex bone. How has that worked for you? And do you think after a year of the new offense under your belts, will there be even more improvement to your team?
We hope so. You know, I think anytime you've run this system for a year, you've gained some experience. I think the first year, you know, you hear this saying a lot, and I think you don't understand exactly what it means until you've been through it. But it's you don't know what you don't know. And I think the first year of running any type of system, whether offensively, defensively, whatever it might be, there's going to be things that come up and you don't really have an answer for because you never asked the question. And so we had to go back and do a lot of film study. We had to go meet with some college coaches, some other coaches in the area that run the offense similar to us, and just kind of find out what those answers were. And I think we'll have better answers this year. We're pretty fortunate in the fact that our quarterback that we believe will probably be the starting quarterback this year played every snap on JV last year, so he got lots and lots of reps, and he wasn't sitting behind, you know, our senior Landry from last year. So he got to play and experience the offense. It was completely new for everybody last year. I think we'll be better at making adjustments. I think our kids are a lot more comfortable running it now. There's a lot of timing that goes into this offense, especially with emotion, and just giving our kids an opportunity to have it. And thank goodness the UIL is giving us the opportunity right now because we missed out on spring football, so we were already behind. And our kids are saying that, you know, Coach, I feel like we're behind, but we're behind where we would probably normally be right now, but we're not behind everybody else because everybody's in the same situation right now. So I think that. And really and truly, I think it's a huge advantage for us in the fact that teams were probably going to spend a day or two, maybe a couple of practices during spring ball, just understanding the flex bone, practicing against the flex bone, understanding concepts, who's got quarterback, dive pitch, so on and so forth. And they weren't able to do that in the spring, so I think it plays a huge advantage for us.
And you guys have big offensive lines. How do you feel it'll fare against the D-lines in this district, specifically your crosstown rival Trinity?
Well, I think big's a relative term, number one. And when you throw in Trinity in there, I don't think anybody's going to be as big as they are up front on either side of the ball. So I don't know how as well physically we'll match up against them. I know that it'll be a great game. I know our kids are going to be ready to play. It's a big rivalry, but you know it's one game. You know, we got to win some of those other ones too. So the big thing is, I think that it's not so much our size that I feel good about as far as how we match up with other D lines in our district. It's the technique we use with our offensive line, the way they come off the ball, the way they play with low pad level. We do some cut blocking up front, which you don't see a whole lot these days. So I think that gives an advantage. And just other teams have to prepare for a different style of blocking. I think that's what gives us advantage more than probably our size or physicality.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Campfire. We'll be right back after a couple of messages from our sponsors.
The North Texas Honda dealers recognize members of our high school sports community who take time out to be helpful heroes. Nominate a helpful hero today at ihsshelpfulheroes.com. The film session is brought to you by your local North Texas Geico agents. To find the office near you, go to geico.com/DFW. The District Breakdown is presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. These teams make it look easy, just like GiveMeTheVin.com makes it easy to sell your vehicle.
Welcome back to the Campfire. District 3-6A has some great teams, as Weatherford has been up and coming and producing D1 talent. The Haltom City Buffaloes have been competing for a district crown for the last 2 years. And you have the epic Euless Trinity versus LD Bell. District 3-6A is also watched very closely in the Bullington household, as Dad played football at Trinity and Mom went to LD Bell. So rivalry week is a house divided. Now it's time for the District Breakdown, presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. We have Inside High School Sports Insider Ryan Harris to break down this district a little more with us. Ryan?
Thanks, Ashley. We're kicking off our 6A coverage with District 3 today. Trinity is the brand name in this district, and they'll be the favorites to win the district. But that leaves 3 open playoff spots. Let's take a look at how the district might shake out. Trinity finished the 2019 season with a 9-2 record and a heartbreaking first-round playoff loss to Arlington Lamar. The Trojans returned their running back in Ollie Gordon, who will be relied on heavily as Trinity runs the ball as much as anyone in the state. Defensive end Tonga Lolahea will be a headache for opposing teams to game plan for. Trinity should extend its playoff streak as well as its winning streak over LD Bell in 2020, and I expect them to win the district. Boswell missed out on the playoffs last year after a 4-6 finish to the season. Now the Pioneers will be playing in 6A after spending the last several seasons in 5A. Boswell returns talent along the offensive line, but replacing quarterback Braden Thomas won't be easy given that he set multiple school records. Gavin Mathis will be a name to keep an eye on this fall, and the versatile Justin White is back as well. I'm interested to see how Boswell adjusts to 6A competition this year. Chisholm Trail is also making the jump to 6A after spending the last few seasons in the same 5A district as Boswell. The Rangers lost to Boswell a year ago, but they'll be looking for revenge in 2019. Chisholm Trail also finished 4-6 in 2019, and they'll be looking to improve on that mark. Talented linebacker Robert Harden is back to lead the defense, and the Pioneers are returning talent along the offensive line as well. Keep an eye on Chisholm Trail as the Rangers adjust to 6A this fall. Haltom followed a historic 13-1 season with a 4-6 record last season. The Buffaloes were decimated by graduation last season, but they'll have a more experienced group in 2020. Although 4-6 doesn't sound promising, Haltom was competitive in every game it played last season, and that includes a win over Trinity. Wide receiver Jace Washington and safety Johnny Ryder are back for Haltom this fall. There's plenty to build on, and I expect Haltom to make the playoffs this year. LD Bell finished 3-7 in 2019 after winning just one game the season before. The even better news for the Blue Raiders is that they were competitive in 7 games last season. Bell returns talent at running back as well as in the secondary and along the defensive line. If the Blue Raiders can find a way to win some of the close games they lost last year, they could challenge for a playoff spot this year, especially in a district that didn't have many playoff teams a year ago. North Crowley moves into a new district after spending the last few seasons in a district with the Arlington schools. The Panthers finished just 3-7 last season, but they'll look to take advantage of a more favorable district schedule in 2020. North Crowley is returning one of the better safety duos in the area in Ronald Wilson and Corian Francis, and they'll be another team to keep an eye on in this district. Weatherford was involved in several high-scoring affairs en route to a 7-4 record last season. Replacing Ken Seals at quarterback won't be easy, but the Kangaroos do return Baylor commit Cisco Caston at safety. There is plenty of talent to replace, but if Weatherford can do it, a playoff spot should be in the cards in 2020. That brings me to my player and team to watch in District 3. My team to watch is the Haltom Buffaloes. Haltom captured lightning in a bottle in 2018 when the Buffs finished 13-1. With a more favorable district schedule and a more experienced team, I like Haltom to make it back to the playoffs in 2020, and I'm hoping they can make a little bit of a run. My player to watch is Trinity running back Ollie Gordon. As always, Trinity goes as the running game goes. Gordon and his offensive line will need to have a great season if Trinity expects to find success in the playoffs this season. It was fun as always, but that's all I have for today. Back to you, Ashley.
Ryan, great insight as always. Thank you. I'll see you next week. That's all we have for this week's edition of the Campfire. Come back every Monday for a new show. Follow our social media accounts throughout the week, though, as we bring you original content that will all be covering 3-6A. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube that you can catch it all on. Until next time, I'm Ashley Bullington, and thank you for watching the Campfire.